In 2004, the icon of domestic perfection, Martha Stewart, was sent to a federal prison. The world predicted the collapse of her brand, but her greatest asset was her refusal to let chaos win. Now, to really get the shockwaves this sent through the culture, you have to remember who she was at that moment. Martha Stewart wasn't just a businesswoman. She was a cultural institution. Her name was synonymous with impeccable taste, flawless execution, and this aspirational dream of a perfectly ordered life. So when the news broke, it wasn't just a scandal, it was a cultural earthquake. The very person who taught America how to create order was now at the center of the ultimate disorder. Today, we're not just looking at a brand or a person. We are decoding an entire operating system that turned this catastrophe into an unbelievable comeback.
Just think about that for a second. This wasn't just a legal problem. It was an attack on the very core of her brand's DNA. Martha Stewart Living Omni Media was a billion-dollar empire built on one single powerful promise: meticulous control. Every magazine cover, every TV segment, every single product was a testament to aesthetic perfection and domestic order. So her imprisonment wasn't just a personal failing, it was a public refutation of her entire value proposition. The narrative was set, the media was ready to write the obituary for her brand. This was supposed to be the end of the story.
And that is the central question of this entire explainer. The easy answers, the simple ones, they just don't cut it. Was it just brand loyalty from her followers? A clever PR campaign after she got out? No. What happened next defied all expectations, because the foundation was stronger than anyone knew. This wasn't a story of just surviving or toughing it out. It was a story of strategic reinvention. The answer lies in a deeply ingrained philosophy, a framework she had been building her entire life, a system that treated order not as a preference, but as the fundamental source of power. Okay, so here's our game plan for decoding this incredible comeback. First, we're going to start at her absolute lowest point to understand the anti-fragile pivot she pulled off. Then, we'll trace the origins of her discipline back to a surprising place, Wall Street. From there, we'll define the core principles of her framework and see how she put them into action with her systems of order. And finally, we'll really grasp the powerful legacy she built on the fine art of reinvention. So let's start right in the heart of the crisis, because it's here, in a place designed to strip away your identity, your status, and your control, that the true nature of her power was revealed. This wasn't just a punishment, it was the ultimate proving ground. This wasn't a breakdown, it was the ultimate stress test of her entire life's work and philosophy played out for the whole world to see. While she was incarcerated, Martha Stewart didn't just endure, she executed. The reports from that time are just fascinating. She famously kept her disciplined routine, waking up early, exercising, organizing her small space with the same precision she'd use on a country estate. But she went further. She organized things. She worked. She even started teaching skills like pottery, organization, and even business basics to her fellow inmates. Now, this wasn't just about keeping busy. This was a defiant, systematic continuation of her core mission in the most hostile environment you can imagine. In the face of total external chaos, she doubled down on her internal order. It was a live, real-time demonstration that her brand wasn't just about perfectly folded napkins, it was a philosophy that could function and even thrive anywhere.
And this right here is a brilliant example of the concept of being anti-fragile. Think of it this way. A fragile thing, like a glass vase, breaks under pressure. A resilient thing, like a rubber ball, it withstands pressure and bounces back to its original shape. But an anti-fragile thing? Well, it actually feeds on pressure, on chaos, and it becomes stronger because of it. By applying her system in prison, she proved her philosophy wasn't just some image. It was an authentic, battle-tested system of self-mastery. The crisis became her greatest piece of marketing. That prison cell became the ultimate proof of concept for the Stewart Framework.
All right, let's move on and see how this foundation was built, because that kind of discipline, that anti-fragile core, it doesn't just pop up out of nowhere. To understand the steel in her spine, we have to rewind the clock and go to a place you might not expect to find the roots of a domestic empire, the chaotic, male-dominated trading floors of 1970s Wall Street.
Her framework wasn't born in a pristine country kitchen with a bunch of helpers. It was born from the grit of working-class necessity. She had to be resourceful right from the start. Then came college, where she actually paid for her own education by modeling, an early lesson in leveraging aesthetics for financial gain. But the crucial training ground, the place that really forged her mindset, was her career as a stockbroker. This is where the core components of her future empire were really tempered in fire.
So let's be super clear about this critical point. Wall Street gave her an education in high-stakes risk assessment, efficiency, and the cold, hard logic of profit and loss. It's an environment where one small mistake, one moment of imprecision, can have catastrophic financial consequences. She learned to operate with extreme precision under immense pressure. She then took that exact same mindset, that non-negotiable analytical rigor, and systematically applied it to what others at the time considered soft pursuits: catering, decorating, homemaking. This was her genius. She treated a dinner party with the same operational discipline as a stock trade, and that gave her an authority and a business acumen that no one else in the lifestyle space had. So this unique background, this potent mix of working-class resourcefulness and Wall Street discipline, it didn't just give her a unique set of skills. It solidified into a core belief system. It's not just a set of tips for better living, it's a complete philosophy for life and business, an architecture for building power, which we can define as the Stewart Framework. The name itself really captures her whole approach. I mean, think about the language. It's not the Stewart suggestions or the Stewart ideas. It's a framework. That word is so deliberate. It implies structure, a system, a load-bearing architecture that you can build something real and lasting on. It's not about inspiration, it's about engineering. And here it is, the core belief at its very heart. It's the conviction that real, durable power doesn't come from external validation or luck or circumstance. It comes from within. It comes from the disciplined, systematic application of order to every single part of your life. This philosophy says you should treat your personal finances with the rigor of a CFO, your daily schedule with the precision of a project manager, and your home with the attention to detail of a five-star hotelier. It's about taking the principles of high-performance business and applying them to your own life. It's professional-grade optimization for you. And this core belief is held up by 3 operational pillars that make the framework so powerful. First, reinvention that builds power. This means you don't just bounce back from setbacks, you use them as strategic opportunities to publicly show your core strength. Her prison term is the ultimate example. Second, the Frugality and Efficiency Mandate. This sees organization not as a nice to have, but as a powerful economic tool to eliminate wasted time, money, and energy, and maximize output. And third, end-to-end aesthetic control. This is the non-negotiable demand for total control over how everything looks and feels, ensuring an uncompromising level of quality that builds unwavering trust. But, a philosophy is just an idea until you build a system to execute it consistently day after day. So let's move from the what to the how. Let's look at the actual repeatable method Stewart used to turn her framework into a massive, high-volume output machine that could withstand any storm. This slide connects the dots perfectly. The mindset, the core belief, is that order is the source of power. But the method is how you generate that order on a daily, weekly, and yearly basis. For Stewart, this wasn't about occasional bursts of creativity. It was about building industrial-strength systems, like a factory, that ensured relentless consistency and quality, day in and day out, regardless of how she felt. And these are the 2 engines of her empire working together. First, the high-volume content protocol. Martha Stewart Living wasn't just a magazine, it was a content factory. It systematically created, tested, photographed, and cataloged a massive library of reliable expertise. This deep archive became an anchor for the brand, ensuring that even when her personal reputation was under attack, the brand's core reputation for quality and trust was unshakable. The second engine is her daily discipline of self-care. Her famously early wake-up times, her scheduled exercise, her meticulous gardening. This isn't leisure. It is the systematic maintenance of her own personal energy and authenticity. To sell a brand based on order, she had to physically be that order. This routine was the non-negotiable system for making that happen.
So what's the result? What happens when you combine this powerful mindset with these relentless systems over decades? You get more than just a successful business. You get a legacy built, not on avoiding failure, but on mastering the art of the comeback. You get a story of profound, repeated transformation.
This timeline is just extraordinary when you really stop to consider it. Each of these transitions is a massive reinvention. The first, from the cutthroat world of a Wall Street broker to America's most trusted domestic guru, was groundbreaking, a pivot no one saw coming. But the second reinvention is what cements her legacy. To go from an incarcerated felon, a name that became a punchline, back to a relevant, respected media figure, collaborating with Snoop Dogg, appearing in Super Bowl commercials, it's a testament to the sheer force of her framework. It proved, beyond any doubt, that her principles were truly anti-fragile. Ultimately, her long-term impact was to professionalize an entire industry. Before Martha Stewart, the lifestyle space was often seen as a hobbyist's domain. She applied a level of systematic rigor, operational efficiency, and end-to-end aesthetic control that just became the new gold standard. Everyone who came after her, from lifestyle bloggers to home improvement influencers, is operating in a world that she defined. Her journey proved, in the most public and dramatic way possible, that the greatest power you can ever have is the ability to maintain your own internal order and your own standards, especially when the world around you is falling into chaos.
So after all that, the crisis, the origins, the philosophy, the systems, what does this all mean for us? What's the actionable lesson here? How can the principles of the Stewart Framework be applied not just to building a media empire, but to building a more intentional, resilient, and powerful life? Okay, here's the blueprint. First, adopt the mindset. Start treating every part of your life, your budget, your schedule, your health, your goals, as a domain for professional-grade optimization. Ask yourself, how can I run this part of my life more effectively? Second, adopt the Frugality and Efficiency Mandate. Do a little audit of your life. Look for waste, wasted time, wasted energy, wasted resources. Then ruthlessly eliminate it by systematizing your processes. Create routines, automate decisions. The ultimate goal is to consciously build an internal system of order so robust, so disciplined, that no external crisis, no unexpected disaster, no public failure can ever truly dismantle you.
So let's just close with a final thought here. Martha Stewart built her empire and saved it on the fundamental truth that order is the ultimate form of self-mastery. The Stewart Framework is more than just a business strategy. It's a manual for turning public humiliation into a systematic, undeniable demonstration of anti-fragile power. It shows how a deep, personal commitment to control can transform vulnerability into strength. Her story is a powerful reminder of an immutable rule, one that applies to all of us, no matter what we're facing. Your resilience is your greatest asset. If you want to explore more blueprints like this that decode genius and give you the tools for intentional growth, be sure to subscribe.